the first issue of Batman Last Night on Earth. Scott Snyder writing, Greg Capullo on the art. This is their Black Label swan song to Batman, which you two read.
Mhm.
So, by all means,
It's certainly something.
I came into this not wanting to like it, and by the end it won me over because I immediately figured out what this was.
Yeah, it's so it starts with, okay, there's this mystery that Batman's been tracking for like almost a year.
Yeah.
Every day, someone has been going and drawing like just a bit of chalk on a street.
A 5-foot line of chalk.
5 foot line of chalk, right, every day, and it's gone the next day, right? It's just, you know, it's there for a little bit and it's gone. But now that, you know, the year's nearly done, he's got almost a complete picture, and it's like an outline of Batman, like a murder body, a murder scene outline in chalk. It looks like that, and the heart is placed over Crime Alley.
Right, so he goes to Crime Alley,
and he gets this. There's this weird little zombie boy, is what I'm going to describe it as, which looks phenomenal, I should say. The art here,
Capullo's art here. This is the most I like Capullo's art in quite some time. Like,
yeah, and
as good as Metal and stuff was, this feels like it's on a different level.
I really like Capullo, and I loved him during Metal even. But this is like, this panel here of Batman looking at the zombie boy is phenomenal. And there's always is some sort of like there's some sort of mechanical elements. He starts, you know, like clockwork, like gears are winding up.
It's very steampunk.
Yeah,
it's a steampunk zombie.
And it pulls up the arm raises and it pulls up a gun, and it shoots Batman. It shoots him in the kind of in the stomachy area, is where it seems like the gun gets to. And then Bruce wakes up, and it's a story you've seen before. This concept, he's in Arkham Asylum, and everyone's telling him that it's, you know, oh, Batman's not real. You know, it was all a delusion you created from things around you.
Yeah, so like the doctor looks like Joker, and he's wearing a flower.
But his name was Redmond Hood.
Right.
So he is Red Hood and became the Joker.
And then you see everyone else that works there. So like his psychologist is Harley Quinn, and like his physical trainer is Bane. And you see some of the attendants are like, they're just like Riddler and Two-Face and this, and it was all like he's been
delusional.
crazy.
Yeah. And he goes back to his cell, and he's like, there's got to be a way out. There's got to be a way out. And he kind of comes across a little hole in the padded cell, and he goes in. He's like, here you are. And he pulls out a little toy dinosaur and a penny.
Yep.
And he's terrified.
And Alfred tells him, so Alfred comes to see him, and then he asks about his cowl. You find out that it gets super dark, as you find out the cowl is used for shock treatment. And he wears it, right? And so there's this, he gets it on, and it's like a straight jacket with the Wayne insignia on the front. And Alfred comes
he's been
to visit
here
him
since his parents' murder is when he's been here since. And the Wayne Company, you know, they bought out Arkham Asylum pretty much immediately after Bruce was sent here, so that they could have direct control over him. And so the design of the cowl is really interesting, because it's so it's all this like black leather helmet, you know, protection from the shock therapy. The way the ears are is there's like a belt strapped around it, and it's just the bits at the end of the belt that's come out through the buckle are sticking up. And it has that ear effect. It's a fantastic piece of design work.
Yeah, but so Alfred comes and talks to him. Is like, we did this for your own good. We thought, but you know, now it's gone too far. It's time to snap out. You know, we did this treatment. It should work, right? But Batman's not buying it. And then they bring up the thing that I hated most about the Snyder run.
Oh yeah,
the stupid Batman machine.
Yeah, that's not there yet. There's I mean. Yeah, I know. I groaned at that as well. It's the one thing about this issue I really actually dislike, because
me too.
It's a very surreal issue in what it's doing. It's completely different, but it sets up from the start that, okay, this isn't, you know this isn't real, right? You know, this is, okay, Bruce in the asylum isn't what's actually happening every time you see this story.
Yeah, so that's when we got to this point, and I was like, oh, this is not what I thought it was. So what this is going to be is Bruce in Arkham. And this whole adventure with the Joker head, this is all just one of those delusions. And no, because once we find out about Alfred, and then you see that Alfred is actually older
Yeah,
So
he's
like,
been using some face-changing tech to make him seem younger.
Right, as to not shock Bruce.
Yeah.
Right. But then they bring up the Batman machine, which in turn is a cloning machine as well. Which I didn't remember that part. I had blocked that part out.
Oh yeah, no, that was always the case. It
Yeah.
cloned him, and at the age of 27 or something, because that was
Right.
the ideal age to start.
Oh, God, I forgot about that, and I was happy I forgot about it.
Yeah, I know. But there's a fantastic sequence of him fighting through Arkham, like breaking out. Until Alfred, stops him, and he doesn't attack Alfred immediately. But
I would say Capullo is definitely.
This is top form Capullo. Like and the whole team as well. The Glapion and the colorist. Blank on the name now.
Yeah. FCO.
Yeah, FCO. Phenomenal stuff. The shadows on. There's the panel where you see Alfred, old for the first time properly without the digital effect anymore.
Yeah.
And it's him just saying, "I'm so sorry." It's a fantastic panel. Like it's so well rendered. The shadows, everything. It's just something else.
But yeah, so we find out that this is one of the Batman clones, and that he wasn't ready to come out yet. So this was all just prep for him before they go to what has happened, and that's what leads to this story. So he ends up, it looks like, coming up through the sand, which makes it a really cool visual.
Yeah, because we're in Arkham Asylum. It's all this dank, dark grays, grays and greens is all the color scheme.
Yep.
And then it's bright orange, reds, yellows in the desert, and Batman is it's like he's digging himself out of a grave. He comes up through the sand, hand first, and then pulls the rest of him up, and it's a great image. He walks along a little bit and he sees this lantern, in the sand. He goes over, he blows some of the sand off it, and it's Joker's head inside the lantern.
Yep, Batman and Noggin.
Yeah, Batman and Noggin. That's the team for this 3-issue adventure.
And this is when I realized this is just gonna be Old Man Bruce, but he's not old, because this is Snyder doing the Old Man Logan story of now. Bruce has to go across this country that's been changed by an event that
there's
we'll find out about.
Force storms going on.
Yep. In that they left this Joker head out, almost like it's almost like not a threat, but like a warning.
It's half warning, half a guide.
Right.
And so he treks across this desert to Coast City.
Yep.
And he gets
2 days
there,
walk.
and Mogo's kind of there, but Mogo's in the sky, but dead. Yep. The central battery is destroyed, and they talk about how there's no Green Lanterns anymore. Mogo was sending them off, but to try and find someone, but he died in the process. And then there's just these random people have them who are not trained or really able.
No, but they also seem like zombies almost. Like the rings are more in control. Than the people are.
Yeah, because they all make the same construct. All these people, they make these big giant demon babies. I call them demon babies because they're all kind of a bit misshapen, ugly.
Oh no, you
teeth.
Look at them, teeth and eyes with triple pupils.
Yeah, or like just a tiny dot of a pupil on one eye, and then the other eye is really wide and almost a bit more normal by comparison. But yeah.
So then, as he's fighting him, he starts to get walloped, and this door opens from nowhere, and it looks like Vixen comes out, and they're in these.
It's like, get in here, right. But, invisibility again.
Yep, invisible tank, and they talk about Omega, and like, don't you know Omega has scouts all over these parts? Hell, Bane and Scarecrow, they were just sighted a few days ago.
Yeah,
and Ivy's driving.
Yeah, Ivy's in here, and she's, they're like, oh, hey, Vixen's like, hey, this looks like the real deal here, doesn't it? But and Ivy just smacks him with a plant.
Yep. Does Ivy have a nose piercing? Is that what that is, or is that just art?
Do you know what? No, it's consistent on all of it. I think it's a nose piercing because Vixen doesn't have that.
No, so that's what I was just wondering. But so he gets knocked out. He wakes up, and it looks like in this jewel cavern. And Vixen is poking him with a spear, and it's Vixen. You got Supergirl All their uniforms are kind of tattered. Looks like Ivy. I don't know who the girl is. That supposed to be Huntress?
No, I think it's supposed to be Donna Troy.
Okay, but she's got like a star kind of.
A star on her face. Yeah. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Weird.
Donna Troy.
But I'm going by the belt and the the black and the silver.
But their leader comes, so the Amazons get away. So it seems that these are the new Amazons. And someone walks up wearing it looks like Wonder Woman wearing Fate's helmet.
Yeah, but she says no, that there's no magic anymore. Magic's dead. This here, it's just a helmet, not Fate. But like she goes, just like there's no Batman or Wonder Woman.
Yep, and it says basically who killed the world, and she cuts them loose.
Yeah, and then we get some exposition. They're hiding deep in Gemworld.
Yeah,
because it's got this natural protections from all the shit
from
that's
Omega.
Going down.
Yeah, we get hinted at Omega's this villain again, but because Gemworld exists out of space time, so they're safe, But they're breeding Pegasus, and to basically protect the ones who are left. They're going to be the ones that do this.
Yeah,
and it's the survivors.
We get a little bit of history and exposition here. When we're talking about Omega, and obviously the first thing your mind jumps to with Omega is Darkseid, right?
Right.
But we see these shadowy figures holding up Darkseid's head.
Yeah.
So that probably rules him out.
Yeah, but basically it plays into what Snyder was doing before, that that Doom has taken over, right, with Luthor.
Yeah. And
so Luthor basically managed to instill Doom, and when he did that, it empowered Omega.
Yeah, right? and it's the way he did it, not through overthrowing all the heroes by empowering the villains, but by empowering the people.
Yeah. And so they storm into the Hall of Justice and they take everybody out.
Yeah.
And they take Batman first, so that's why there's this clone here.
Yeah.
But his rumor is that he found the anti-life equation, but he's not using it. And they fought alongside of the villains. In the final war, we lost. He's beyond powerful. He's taken the anti-life equation and has taken over the East Coast with it. Rumor is he found a way, a means to amplify it 1,000-fold, controlling the minds of every living being on the planet. So that's why they're underneath in Gemworld, because it protects the 100,000 survivors of all of this.
And it explains the zombie kind of people all doing the same baby. It's all one being controlling.
Because it's anti-life, right?
Yeah.
Right. And so, but the problem with this Bruce is that he's more of an echo and like a ghost, because it's not really Bruce. It's just the idea of Bruce in a clone, which I think that'll be interesting when we get to see what this means. Is he Batman? Is this what this whole challenge is?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what the core theme of this book is going to be. What makes him Batman? Is it the experiences? Is it the memories?
Right.
Is it the ability? Because this Bruce here, he has the languages, the detective skills, the martial arts. Does that make him Batman?
Right.
That's the key concept here.
But so we know that Diana's around, but Bruce asks about Clark. But basically, she's like, she knows she's heard the folktales about him being alive in the Plains of Solitude, but she watched Clark fall with her own eyes, and that these are just lies. I don't think so. I think we are going to get to see Superman.
I do as well.
At a certain point.
I think it's going to be not a nice sight when we see Superman.
No, but I also feel like that Superman's an important character to Batman, especially through Snyder.
Oh yeah.
Because we've seen them, the whole part of Endgame.
Say what you want about Snyder's take on Batman, but he had his Bruce and Clark relationship was always very good.
Yeah, and so that's why I feel like they put this out here, as a hint. But I do feel like whatever it's going to be, it's going to shock Bruce, and he's going to want to carry the memory of Clark and what Clark represented.
Yeah.
Going forward, but so this is where I was like, oh, this is just Old Man Logan, but with Batman now, and I'm not mad about that.
No, it's I'm down for this. This is not what I expected. It ends with okay, Bruce takes the bat suit that Diana left for him.
Yep.
And he goes off out into the wilds with the Joker head.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure, we've got all these narration boxes throughout the issue, we're talking about the adventures that him and Batman have had. And you kind of get at the end that, okay, no, this is the Joker head talking.
Yep.
And it's at the end is, we set off for parts unknown, Batman and I, on one last adventure together.
Yep.
And it's a gorgeous page of the black against the red.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very, very much. But in between that, right before he goes off and takes the bat suit, you find out that Diana's taking them down to Hades because they'll be safe there from Omega. Which Bruce is like, we can't do that. Like, these are living people. She's like, oh, I already talked to Hades himself. Like,
we got a deal.
Fine.
He's setting a little bit aside for us.
Yeah,
but makes you question what did she have to offer in return?
Right, and this is what I like here is he talks to a kid, and basically is like, you're really Batman, right? So like, are you like a bat? Like, can you do those things? Like, you can see in the dark. And Bruce explains to him, he's like, well, no.
Bats don't see in the dark. It's all about, echoes. They use their voices to find their way through.
Mm-hmm. And he says, we're not allowed to make noise down here. It disturbs everybody. So he goes and does it. And I feel like this is a good... it shows his humanity.
Yeah. It's obviously it's addressing the themes of, okay, is this just an echo or is he really,
right.
Bruce? Is this him? And it's him kind of defying the rules and going, no, screw whatever they're saying. We're doing what we're going to do. It's him kind of being his own man by not being just an echo. Is what this moment is.
And also, we skimmed over that there's rumors that Omega's one of Bruce's kids.
Yeah.
And that so we'll get to see. I'm excited to see where this goes.
This is so densely packed. Because it's split into like 4 parts. Obviously, it's it's quite long as well. It's these prestige format books. But this was kind of not what I was expecting at all, and it was really a great surprise.
Well, and when it started, because we were sold on Batman and Joker's head going through Wasteland of What's Left of Earth. So when I open it up and he's in Arkham, I'm like, what in the hell is going on? And the good first half of the book is all of that.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, third, I'd say.
Yeah, okay. And then we get to all this other stuff about the Wasteland, and you see the Green Lanterns, and you get Vixen and the Amazons, and you get the thing that this has gone bad real fast.
Yeah. So
what has happened? And yeah, I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did.
Yeah. So, me either, because I'm more positive on Snyder than both of you. In general, I mean, Matt's not always down him, but I'm definitely more positive on Snyder's Batman.
I'll tell you. Well, I like his Batman up until
a point, yeah.
Yeah, up until Bat Gordon, and Bat Gordon starts to go off the rails for me. That said, I did love Mr. Bloom as a villain, just because
it was great. Yeah,
how different he was. But Snyder's like, this is, I feel, back to basics. I don't feel like I was reading a textbook.
Yeah, it's weird because all the things we're saying sound insane, and I think that was part of my concern going in. Is this just too out there for Snyder's last Batman story? And then it's actually surprisingly down to earth in the way it's written, and the core concept is sure it's kind of an alternate future and Bruce clones and stuff, but it's all about who is Bruce, what makes him Batman, and that's very prevalent throughout, and it's a really strong through line. And then the art team are killing it. Like, this is some of their best work together. And these guys have been working together for a long time now.
Yeah. Well, I'm just hoping this becomes a refutation of the Bat God trope because of all this, because that's what I was feeling with the Bat Machine, right? That Bruce is playing God. But if that was introduced to tell this story, then I think I'll be okay with it, because if that's what it builds that up to say, like, well, no, Batman's a sum of his experiences, which I felt that was always Snyder's take on him, and it wasn't the Bat God.
I would even go as far as to speculate that Omega might be one of the other Bruce clones, but
maybe
then had different experiences.
Right.
And it's like, no, Bruce isn't just Batman because he's cloned to be Batman.
Right.
Those experiences he has from there on out,
right?
Are
because
still
it's
what
not
makes
Omega.
Him who he is.
Yeah, Omega's the end of the world, but it's not because of the death of Batman. So that could be. I didn't think about that till now. That and that's what I mean. He's one of Batman's kids.
Yeah, it would still play into that that
Right.
idea, right?
I think that's more interesting than it being Jason or Dick or Tim or even Damien. You know.
Like I can see reasons to do all of those, and any of those, if that is the case,
Yeah.
as long as it's got a good point in the story, I'm okay with that. Like there's none of them inherently I'm like, oh, I really don't want it to be this.
Yeah.
But I think another clone is the one that makes the most sense thematically to me.
Yeah, I like that. I like this certainly a hell of a lot more than any of the Batman Who Laughs bullshit. So.
Oh yeah, I've been enjoying Batman Who Laughs well enough. It's got problems, but I mean, it's probably my least favorite Snyder work in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But this is back on top form, and it sounds like it's so huge and out there, but it's a really down to earth personal story at its core.
Yeah,
and I'm really into this.
All right, so what you rating it?
I'm giving it an 8.5.
Oh, me too. Okay,
Cool.
we lined up.
Pete's missing out on this one.
Yeah.
Bat clones, I'm good.